Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
We're going to start with our little Tai Chi twist and shrug. So we're going to keep our feet about hip width distance apart, knees nice and soft. We're going to twist the trunk, shrug the shoulders, twist the other way, shrug the shoulders. You're going to keep your eyes and your hip points facing forward. And then you're just going to find that nice focus of softening the knees, draw your tailbone down. So we want to keep the bottom half of the body nice and steady, nice and stable. And then if you can, breathe in and out through your nose. And then as you do this work here, kind of just tune in, get a sense. How is your back feeling? How do your knees feel? So we've got that soft little bend in our knees. How do your knees feel? We're going light on knee positioning today, so just kind of get a sense of, I'm speaking to one friend in particular, but just get a sense of how your knees are feeling this morning. Got 15 seconds left here. And time, nicely done. Okay, now we're going to take it into a little bit of a walk, but our walk is going to be nice and focused. So we're going to draw the tailbone down. We're going to keep the knees soft and we're not going to let the knees lock out. And then we're going to walk with an intentional foot pattern. So we're going to land heel, ball, toe, and then push off on the big toe. So the big focus is tailbone drawing down, knees stay soft, intentionally walk through the bottom of your foot. And the last little bit of work you're going to feel is the big toe pushing off. And then once you hit the front end of your mat, you're going to walk within a little intentional walk backwards. When you walk backwards, you don't get the big toe push off. You get the heel push off. So notice that slight variation and then walk it forward. Land heel, ball, toe, and you want to push off on the big toe. That's that last contact point that leaves the ground. And then walk it backwards and the toe lands first as you walk backwards. Tailbone draws down, knees stay soft the whole time. And then once you've got that going on, if you can, eyes are going to stay facing forward. So you're not going to look down at the ground. You know where the work is happening. And all you have to do is tune in and feel that last contact point, big toe pushes off, and then the heels lift up. You got it. Nice job. And then if, like me, you have fallen arches, you also have to focus on keeping the arches lifted off the ground as you do that work. We got 6 seconds left. And time, nicely done. Okay, now we're gonna keep walking, but we're gonna add a toe and ball heel lift. So we're walking on our heels. We're gonna stay nice and upright. And as we do this work, arms are gonna come out and we're gonna add a little palm flip. So as we walk ourselves forward and back, we're staying on our heels the whole time. And then we're just flipping the palms. Palm flip up, palms flip down. We got 1 minute on the clock. This is our last minute in standing before we come down to the ground, but consider this still our warm-up minute. So we're working through the feet. As you keep those toes and the balls of the feet lifted, you should feel the muscles in the front of your shins doing a bit of work to keep that lifted position. And then as your arms are doing that palm flip, just kind of notice, how do your shoulders feel? How does your arms feel? How does your chest feel? And then once you've got everything going on, can you keep your eyes forward? You know where your body is connected to the space that you're working in. 20 seconds left. And time, nicely done. Okay, lower your arms, give your arms a little shake, lower your toes and the balls of the feet, give your feet a little wiggle. Now we're coming down onto the ground and we're gonna grab our theraband. We have a little bit of footwork today using our theraband. So you're going to use whichever theraband, especially if you've switched over and you've got now the, say, green and the blue, or blue and the black, whatever you've got, you're going to choose which one will feel better for the work that you're doing. We're going to take our theraband, wrap it around both feet. Legs are going to go up in the air. We're going to keep a bit of tension on the theraband, and we're just going to point and flex the feet. We want to keep our legs at about hip width distance apart. We're not going to let the legs buckle in or buckle out. We want to keep a nice steady, even space between our 2 feet. Get your TheraBand as widely spread around your feet as you can. Choke up on it as much as you can, and then just point and flex the feet. Micro bend your knees just a little bit, because we're not trying to stretch the hamstrings. We're trying to keep that slight bit of outward tension of the feet, just keeping that resistance so they don't buckle in. And then point and flex the feet just as much as you can find. Once you've got all that going on, if you like, eyes are just going to stare up at the ceiling in a soft, focused gaze, and you're just going to breathe in and out through your nose. Nice job. 3 seconds left. But then we're going to keep our legs up in the air. We're going to catch hold of our ends of our TheraBand, so we keep as good amount of tension as we can. I'm going to spin myself around just so you can see what legs are doing. But now we're going to abduct the legs away from each other. So you're going to press out through the blade edges of your feet and then bring them back to hip width distance with control. Keep a good amount of tension on your TheraBand. We want to feel like the outsides of the thighs and the outsides of the hips are where that driving force is coming from. So push out and come back in. We got 1 minute on the clock. If you feel like you're not getting quite enough work, you're going to crisscross your TheraBand just to add that little extra resistance and tension. Which, with the crisscross, you do have to do that just little micro adjust so that the tail ends of your TheraBand don't get all snagged or anything. But we're pushing out, coming back in with control. Don't let it snap you back in. Come back in with the same pace and control as where you pushed out. There's a soft micro bend in my knees, so I'm not locking my knees out. So make sure that you keep the work coming from the sides of your thighs and the sides of your butt. Seven seconds left. All right, that's time. Now we're going to lower our legs just for a minute, give them a little wiggle, a little shake. And now we're going to take it into a single leg work. So we're going to take, oops, sorry, kitty. My small boy is here to say hello. All right, so we're going to take it back down to the ground. 1 leg in, 1 leg out, and then we're going to keep a bit of tension on, and it's going to be a single leg kick. So your leg that's not in the loop, it can be long or it can be bent. That's just whatever feels more comfortable and stable. You're going to keep as much tension on that band as you can. Lower the foot till the heel hovers above the ground. Bring it back up with control. We got 30 seconds on this leg. You're going to take the work at your pace. I still like that little micro bend in the knee so that you feel like the work is maybe coming out of the back of your leg. So you might feel like your hamstring muscles help find this work by just micro bending the knee a little bit. All right, when you're ready, the next time that leg kicks up into the air, stay there, kick your other foot up into the loop and then release your foot. Leg can be bent, leg can be long. That's whatever feels more comfortable. Keep a good amount of tension, keep a micro bend in the knee, and then we lift it up and lower it down. Same work on this side. So it's a nice, slow, controlled movement. We don't let the band snap us up. We keep good control lowering down and the same amount of control as we bring it up. Nice work. And time. Beautiful. Okay. Unloop your foot from that theraband, set it aside, bend both knees, and we're taking it right into 30 seconds of a curl up. So we're going to keep a bent knee position, hands alongside the hips. We're going to reach through the fingertips, like you're reaching your fingertips towards your heels, and then curl up and then lower back down. And now for this 30 seconds of work, the lower down, when you hit the bottom of that point, you're going to reduce as much efforting as you can. So we really want to find that real big differentiation between the contraction of our abdominal muscles and the relaxation of our abdominal muscles. So when you come all the way down, come all the way to a relaxed point, and then do it again. Reach through your fingers, curl up, contract the abdominal muscles, lower all the way down, stop on the ground, relax everything, and then come back to it. We've got 30 seconds of work here. If you like that breath work, you're going to exhale as you curl up, inhale as you lower down at that bottom point. Everything reduces effort, and then come back up with the effort. And then if you're looking at your abdominal muscles, we want to make sure that they're drawing down towards the spine rather than doming up. So pull the belly button down towards the spine, curl up, lower all the way down, relax the muscles completely, and then do it again. All right, now the next time you curl up, stay in that curled up position, and we're taking it right into those little bent knee Pilates 100s. We're going to start pumping the arms, keep that curled up position, breathing in for a count of 5, and then exhaling for a count of 5. And if you can, keep that breath coming in and out through your nose. And time. Beautiful. Okay, lower down with that curled up position. Drop your knees over to the right. We're going to take it right into oblique crunches. 30 seconds one side, 30 seconds the other. So knees are over to the right, right hand on the left side of the belly, left hand behind the head. Crunch up and lower with control. So we want to feel like those side belly muscles are doing that work. We got 30 seconds on this side. Take the work at your pace. Last crunch up on this side. And then as you lower down, drop your knees right over to the other side, switch your handhold, and then right back to work. Crunching up on the other side, lowering with control. Exhale as you crunch up, inhale as you release. Three seconds left. And time. Beautiful. Okay, bring it back to center. Regrab your theraband. Now this is going to be theraband with the arms. So you're going to choose which theraband you're going to work with here. We're going to go into a dead bug position. Arms are going to hold onto the theraband. Legs are going to stay in a steady, even position. And then arms are going to move one at a time. So you're going to raise your right arm up, bring it back in with control, raise your left arm up, bring it back in with control. So we're going to keep that tension on the theraband across the chest. For some of us, it's going to feel just a little bit better to have the low back pressing into the ground. For some of us, it'll feel better to have a slight natural curve of the back. And then for some of us, it'll feel slightly better or slightly stronger to keep the head and neck curled up just a little bit. So find the place where your core feels the strongest so that your dead bug isn't wobbling all over the place. One arm moves and then the other, but everything else stays as steady and stable as it can. And time. Nicely done. Okay, we're flipping over onto our belly. We're going to take it into some Superman. So it's going to be opposite arm, opposite leg, working into those Supermans. So flip over into your prone position. You flip yourself around in any way that makes sense to you. Arms are going to be raised up and overhead. And then we're going to go opposite arm, opposite leg, lift up, lower with control. And then you'll choose your own adventure as to whether your forehead stays connected to the ground the whole time. I like to lift my head because when I lift my head, I can really feel my back muscles working really hard. So I like that little extra bit of work. But for some of us, it might feel better to keep the forehead connected to the ground. So find the placement of your head that makes the most sense to you. Come down into that prone position. We got 1 minute on the clock. Take the work at your pace, lifting opposite hand, opposite foot, lowering with control. Ten seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, from here, this is where we're coming into that knee down push-up position. So we're going to find the knee down push-up position that you like the best. And you can go for a tall position if you would prefer not to have your knees on the ground. But we're going to do a little triangle with our hands. So it's going to be a nice close position with the hands. Make a little triangle with your thumb and your index finger. So that's the position of the arms that we're shooting for. And then you'll adjust your legs so that you have a good planking position. Elbows are going to come wide. Press firm into the hands to come up. We've got 1 minute on the clock. We should feel that work eventually coming out of the triceps more than anywhere else. So that's what the focus is with that triangle of our fingers. Elbows press out wide. Push firm into the hands to come up. Keep your belly firm so that your hips are following your spine. Nice work. You're already halfway there. These are tough though. So if you need to take a break, take the break that you need and then come back into it. We do want to try to maintain that good planking spine. You guys look amazing. Nice job. 15 seconds left. And time. Nice. Okay, now we're coming back down into that prone position. And now we're going to walk the legs just a little bit wider, like your toes are pointing to the corners of your mat. Then we'll bend the knees and bring the heels together. This is the one where we're pushing our heels up towards the ceiling. So if you like a little cushion underneath your hip points, you could even just double stack your mat just a little bit. So make sure that your hip points and the pubic bone feel good on the floor. We press the heels up towards the ceiling. Lower back down with control, and you can keep your head resting on your hands or your head up, whichever feels more stable and more comfortable. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Do the work at your pace. This work will hopefully feel like it's coming from your butt. So we want to feel like your butt muscles get a little squeeze as you push your heels up towards the ceiling, and then release as you lower down. Two seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, we're spinning around into a V-sit position. So flip yourself around, grab your theraband of choice, Heavy or light TheraBand, it's going to be totally up to you because it's a little upper body work. So we're going to start by leaning back into our V-sit, loading up at the chest. We're twisting, pulling out to the corner, bring it back to center, twist, pull out to the corner, to the other side. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Now, if that's not quite enough work for you, the entire time you're going to keep your heels lifted in that V-sit. You're going to twist, reach, and pull, come back through center, over to the other side. Feet lifted feels like a little much. Keep the heels down on the ground, but choose your lever here. So we want to feel like we're leaned back. Those core muscles are kicked on the whole time. And then you adjust your hand grip to the way that it feels best to you. So we want to feel like the armpit chest muscles are helping do that reach, but then we're keeping control as we bring the arms back in. Nice job. Ten seconds left. And time. Beautiful. Okay, now we're coming up to a seated position. So we're just going to put our legs nice and long, grabbing our TheraBand. We're going to wrap it around the bottoms of the feet. So think balls of the feet, toes is where we want to get as much spread of the TheraBand as we can. And then legs are going to go out in front of us nice and long. We're going to put a little tension on. It's going to be a segmented work through the bottom of the foot. So you're going to think Barbie foot, push the balls of the foot forward, point the toes, flex the toes, flex the feet. Balls of the feet forward, point the toes, flex the toes, flex the feet. So that's the work that we're doing, nice and slow and controlled. If sitting in this upright position causes a little bit of a rounding of the back, put a little pillow under your butt or roll up your mat just a little bit to give you